Okay, so I'm going to record this for people who aren't able to get here on time or aren't able to get here at all. But I just wanted to go over the final project, which is your marketing plan. And if you have questions, you can stop me. But what I want to do is go over what's in the module for your final project. And then I'm going to pull up the outline and the rubric, and I'm going to go over that. And so if you have any questions, you can just stop me. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And then going to our class, there's a whole module, and you have 2 weeks to do this marketing plan. And I know we're working on it little by little during the semester, but there are a lot of things that you still will have to do, and you'll have to put it together. And so I just kind of want to show you what's there. This is an introduction. I know you've read this before. You've probably read a lot of this before. There is a video lecture. It isn't customized to your class, but you can read through that. And then the outline, which we're going to go over today. I'll look at the grading rubric just briefly with you. And then at some point in the outline, there are marketing strategies, and you have to pick and then decide on a marketing strategy. So these are the 4 generic marketing strategies. When I refer to it, we can go back to it. Towson, their library has an amazing, I'm going to just go there real quick, because Shana Gass is the person at the library who helps the School of Business. And some of these databases are really amazing. So I would suggest that you talk to her if you need help. She's really kind and helpful. How to write an industry analysis for your marketing plan, if this is something that some of you may want to do. It's not really required, but I put it in here because I think some of these things will be useful to you in the future. So you might want to download it and just keep it in your notes for future reference. And I say that because I went all through undergraduate school. I went all through graduate school, and I never wrote a marketing plan. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is just terrible. So I vowed that if I ever start teaching marketing, that my students would have to do a marketing plan. So I'm sorry for that, but it will be useful to you in the future. And then there are samples. There's a cupcake shop and United Stoneworks. I do have some other samples if you're looking for others, but these 2 are really good ones. They're like A papers. So if you want an A paper, I would look at that and just kind of get an idea. And then this is where you're going to submit your final marketing plan. And you're also going to put it on the discussion board so that we can do peer reviews in the last 3 days. But obviously, as soon as you get your marketing plan done, you can post it, you can put it on the discussion board, you can do your peer reviews, and then you'll be finished. Okay, so let me pull up the marketing plan outline. And this is what we're going to go over tonight. This video and the other video can help you through it. I would suggest you copy and paste this outline and put it into a Word document, and then you can just fill in underneath everything with what you need. I would take out, some of these instructions that I have, and then you can also use it in your as your table of contents. You don't have to have a detailed table of contents, but in your table of contents, you really do need to have page numbers. You will have points taken off if you don't have page numbers in your table of contents. So make sure you have that. So you're going to want to have a cover page with your name on it, the name of the business, the date, and then the table of contents with page numbers, an executive summary. And this doesn't have to be more than half a page. It's just what you are going to be presenting in the following pages. The next thing is the situation analysis. And we've done a lot of this in our assignments, but not all of it. So don't just put your assignment in here. You definitely need to expand it. You do have your mission statement, you have a corporate plan, and this is just talking to your client, the owner of the business, and finding out what do they want to do with the business? How do they want to grow the business? Do they just want to sustain the business? And I would make this about a paragraph. So the mission statement we've done, I've sent you feedback, so you should edit it and put it back in here. So you can be writing this marketing plan now. And by the time we get to actually giving you time to write this, a lot of it could be done. So I would copy and paste it, put it into a Word document, and then just start filling things in every time we have an assignment. You guys do have long-term and short-term goals, and those are from the owners. If you're not sure, go back to them and just say, hey, can I have some goals? And long-term, short-term is just dependent on what they feel is long-term and short-term, because it could be different for everybody. It could be a year is long-term, or it could be short-term, could be a year for them. Your objectives, this is very similar to, I'm going to come down here to your marketing objectives, because this one up here is a part of the corporate review. So this could be profit, return on investment, market share, but it should be something having to do with marketing or the business as far as profit, revenue, something like that. So if they say something very obscure or random, don't put that in there. So just try and qualify it with them and just say, okay, we're talking revenue, profit. And if they say, I don't want to give you my revenue estimates or projections, just say, okay, what percent? And they'll probably feel more comfortable with that. You know, what, how do you want to increase or grow your revenues in the next 6 months? And they say, oh, by 10%, oh, by 2%. I just want to sustain. So just put that in there. Okay. The organizational chart, if they don't have one, you're going to have to create one. And honestly, you can go to Google Images and look at organizational charts and find that one that really matches them, and then kind of create it yourself. But most of the time, the businesses that you're working with should have some kind of organizational chart. So all of that is part of the corporate review. And then you're going to do an industry review. And this was, remember, I showed you the how to write an industry review. A lot of this is information you can get from the databases, secondary information. And if you need help with that, Shana or I can help you with that. So we're looking at, this is the important part, standard industry information. So if you're working with, say, a restaurant, a lot of students in the class picked a restaurant as their business. Their client is a restaurant. So you would look up the restaurant industry, and every city, state, region will have a restaurant association, and they have really good information. Or you can go to Towson Library and look up databases. You can go to IBIS. You can go to a lot of different research websites and just get what's happening in the restaurant industry, because we know there are trends. We know after COVID, a lot of things changed. We know that wages have gone up, which is really squeezing the restaurant owners. So things like that go into this industry review, and sales trends should be accessible in that research as well. So this is research you could do now and just type it up and put it in there. So here I'm looking for, honestly, like a page with citations. You could put citations right after this section. You don't have to put it at the end of the marketing plan. A lot of times in businesses, if you're going to write something up for your boss, you'd put the citations right there so they know where you got the information. So just do this industry review, follow it with a few citations, I'd say 3 to 5, and then move on to the competitive analysis. So here you can do this now too. This is 3 major competitors, their strengths, their weaknesses. It's the 4 Ps, okay? So if you just give me the 4 Ps, put it into a chart for the 3 major competitors, there you go. So product, place, price, promotion for all 3 competitors. And then give me a little bit of detail. Don't just give me a word or 2 for each. And this part is done. Now, the consumer analysis is a little bit harder. You guys remember we wrote a questionnaire in module 2, and I edited it for you. You should go through and fix your questionnaire. And then you're going to go out and just get like 15 to 20 people to answer your questionnaire. So the people who are going to answer your questionnaire, the respondents, these people are going to be your potential customers. So if your potential customer is somebody in your age category, you're not going to interview me because I'm not interested in buying the same thing. So you got to make sure you're questioning people who could be actual customers. Okay, so just 12 to 20. And if you look at the example marketing plans, they have really good research results. And when I'm finished here, I'm going to just show you a sample marketing plan, because this is where your Excel expertise comes in. So you're going to have to put little graphs and charts in here for each question on the questionnaire. So, and the sample marketing plans are really good for that. Okay, SWOT analysis. You guys have probably done this a million times. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And in the rubric, I tell you how many I want in each category. Moving on, the marketing objective. This is where a lot of people lose points, okay? So a marketing objective has to be percentage, it has to be measurable and time specific. So, I mean, there's so many people who lose it. I copy and paste. It's not measurable and time specific. You're going to lose points. So an example here could be increase revenues by 2% in the next 6 months. So you have measurable 2% and you have time specific in the next 6 months. So make sure you have those 2 things that are part of your marketing objective. Your marketing strategy is one of the 4 generics. I'll go through that. I'll show you where they are again. And I'll explain it to you a little bit more. Targeting and segmenting multiple demographics here. We have, I think we have something coming up. No, did you guys already do this? Targeting and segmenting where you gave it to me. Do you remember this, Ben? I think you did. If not,
I think we already did that, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. I think there's an assignment you can pop right in here. You don't have to change it. It's like perfect for this. And then the competitive advantage is the advantage over the competition. That is just like a couple sentences. Same thing for positioning, branding. How do you position somebody? How do you, in the mind of the customer, how do they see the product or service? And then branding, is there any branding that your client is using? And if not, should they be branding? Because it's really important to sell something with a brand, as you guys know. And then we get into the part where this should be a big part of your marketing plan. So I want to see like at least a page for each one of these, the product and service. And if you are taking advantage of your extra credit, I'm happy to read it for you. So you're putting your products, your services, current and suggested. Your distribution strategy, current and suggested. Your pricing strategy, current and suggested. And your marketing or promotion, current and suggested. And these are in the examples, but also every time I give you an opportunity to write these for an extra credit, and some of you are doing it and some of you are not, you just have to write current and suggested for each one. If you don't do that, you're going to lose a lot of points because this part is worth a lot. Okay. And then control and evaluation, just forecasting. When is this all going to happen? How much is it going to cost? What are the scheduling and timing? And just evaluation. Now, since you're here listening to me, I'm going to give you a tip. This section, you can just give me 2 sentences. You can take off A, B, and C if you're here and if you're listening to this, okay? So your control and evaluation can just be evaluation. You can just tell me, how do you know if and when if you put all of this into play, everything that you've written so far, how do you know it's successful? How do you know you have a successful marketing program? So I'm not going to give you the answer to that. It's pretty easy. It's not a riddle. It's not real hard, but you just have to tell me, how will you evaluate all of this? Okay, how do you know it's going to be successful? So let me just go kind of quickly into your rubric, which is the same outline, but now you have points and you have what is required for each section. So I just went over every single one of these with you guys, but now you know where the weights are and how many points you're going to get. Like the corporate review, I want to see details, watch this video. But basically, you completed an assignment, but it wasn't 100% the corporate review. So you have to fill in some pieces on this. Okay. The industry review, I want the industry information. So you can say restaurant industry. You can Google restaurant industry. I would suggest you go to the databases or you ask Shana at the Towson Library. You can email her or call her. Honestly, I don't want to say this, but she sits there a lot of the day and she's bored. She wants you to come and ask her questions. Don't tell her I said that. So go in and get the industry review on your businesses. So if it's restaurant, it's the restaurant industry. If it's a bakery, it's the bakery industry. So there's an industry for every single business, and you have to research it and put it there and use proper citations, okay, at the end of that section. No URLs. I'm going to take points off if you give me URLs, okay? The next point I told you, 3 competitors with the 4 Ps. Okay, so I would do a chart, 4 Ps, 3 competitors, or 3 competitors on the top, 4 Ps on the side, and give me a couple sentences for each. Okay, like is their pricing similar to your business? How much are they charging? If it's like a sandwich shop, take a typical sandwich and tell me how much they charge compared to your business. Okay. Consumer analysis, again, 15 to 20 surveys have to be completed, and then you have to give me the results. So I'm not looking for you to do detailed market research here. I'm looking for means. Percentages and means are like all you have to give me. So what percentage are female? What percentage are male? What percentage say that they live in a certain zip code? Or you could just report by zip codes, all the different zip codes, if you have that in your demographic questions. In your pricing, if they say, I would spend, in a certain range for a product or service, how many people would do it in that range? Okay, so I'm looking for mean, and I'm looking for percentages here. okay? And a little graph for each one, a pie chart or something, okay? And again, that's in the examples, and we'll look at an example really quick. I don't want to spend too much time here, but the SWOT, you guys know, but all 4 areas, I want each item to be at least 1 sentence. So don't say price, location as something, either strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. I don't know what you mean by that. But if you say they have a great location compared to competitors, that would be a strength. So use that entire sentence. Okay, so a sentence, and you can bullet things in your SWOT. I don't need for you to write it all out. Just bullets are absolutely fine. Okay, the marketing objective, again, quantifiable and time specific here. Okay, marketing strategy, one of the generic marketing strategies, and we're going to look at that next. Okay, target market, at least 5 specific demographics. So don't say median income. That's like so general. But if you say an income, I mean, I don't even care if you use income because I don't think that's a really good, I always told everybody in their questionnaire, don't use income because nobody wants to answer an income question. But something that's specific, like age category between 15 and 25. Don't say medium age. Don't say something generic. Say something more specific. Okay. Competitive advantage. This could be like 1 sentence or 2, just an advantage over the competition. And again, look at the examples because you have to word it correctly. Okay, just say our advantage over the competition is blah, 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 whatever. Okay, again, positioning statement. How is the product positioned? How do customers think about your product? I mean, if you think about like Holiday Inn versus the Ritz-Carlton, in your mind, they're 2 totally different hotels. And so you just have to explain yours, basically comparing it to the competition. Okay. You do not have to do a positioning map, but if you create a positioning map, go ahead and put it in there. The statement is required, the map is not required. Okay, and again, I'll show you in the examples what it looks like. Now, this part you can see is 40 points. So the marketing mix, you have 10 points for each P. And I really want it detailed, and you have to remember, put current and suggested in this part. And the very last part is control and evaluation, and just tie it back to like, how am I going to evaluate whether or not this is successful or not? So the whole thing is 200 points. And I just want to look at 2 more things with you tonight. I know I'm moving quickly, so if you guys have questions, just yell it out and I will help you. But the 4 generic marketing strategies, these are it: marketing penetration, market development, product development, or diversification. So you have to pick one of these in the marketing plan. I ask, what marketing strategy is your client using, or do you suggest they use? And I explain each one with an example of Starbucks because I think that's easier. So market penetration, more sales to current customers. Is that what you want to do? Or market development, identify new market segments for them. Or product development, meaning new products to current market. Or you can do diversification, which is kind of a mix. So Starbucks selling CDs in their store, that's like a totally different product to their current markets. But so this is your generic marketing. And so I want to show you, last thing I'm going to show you is this cupcake example. I would have this up on the screen when you're writing yours, one of these 2. so you can see what it looks like. So the table of contents has the page numbers on it. You can see it's pretty long, 27 pages. Situation analysis. So this one starts right with the industry review. And this one is in New Mexico, a restaurant industry, and they have nice pictures about what's happening in the restaurant industry. And then some information about trends, different diets. This is their industry review. And competitive analysis. So you have the 4 Ps for 3. They did 5 different competitors. And they have specific information. So how much does a cupcake cost at each, the product, the placement, and then production or promotion. This is the hardest part probably. It's going to take you the most time is the consumer analysis. See where you're taking your questionnaire and the answers you get, and then you put it into Excel, do percentages, make a little pie chart, copy and paste it, put it into your document. And then I like how they explained it just with one sentence down here. Okay, but you can see it's all labeled, which is really nice. So they have this for every single question in your questionnaire. If you find a question doesn't work, you don't have to do this, but most of the time you're doing a pie chart for all of them. So these are all percentages. Okay, and then the SWOT analysis, this looks really nice, and you could see they have full sentences in each. The marketing objective, okay, here we have quantifiable and time specific. Okay, and here is again time specific. Okay, the marketing strategy, this one is market penetration. So in the 4 generic marketing strategies, this person picked market penetration and they explained it for their client. It's not hard to do. You just have to have the 4, you have to understand what that strategy is and explain it for your client. And then here's targeting and segmenting. And this is something you guys did. You can pop it right in there. Competitive advantage. What's the advantage over the competition? They did about a paragraph. Positioning. This one did a map where you have 2 axes, and then you have, this should actually be low on this side, high on this side, but low and high as far as price, and then uniqueness, and put things into different quadrants. And then if you do that, then it's just easier to think about how it's positioned compared to the competition. Okay. And then the product, this is a little short for me. I really want more detail on your marketing mix. So you have to have current and suggested for each of the 4 Ps, current and suggested. And then when we get to promotion strategies, we have different methods that you're going to have to do current and suggested for each of the methods. Now, this person used in their control and evaluation, they went through every single detail. You don't have to do that. And then the questionnaire in your appendix. Okay. So I went over that pretty fast, but do you guys have questions? It's a lot. There's another example here. I'm not going to go through it, and then your submission here. So I'm going to stop sharing. Sorry. I'm not going to share anymore. Okay. Stop sharing. Okay. So do you guys have any questions? I know that was a lot and I threw it at you pretty quickly. But you can always have me read your sections if you're writing your marketing plan. I won't read it like 2 days before it's due, because then everybody just they send it to me and it's too crazy. But if you want me to read sections like a week or a couple days before, I'm happy to do that and I'm happy to help you. And if you do that, you're gonna get an A on it. It's worth a lot of points. So I would say start it now, get it going, send me sections to read, and I'll send it back to you. Okay? Any questions on it? You guys good? Okay, I'm gonna just stop the recording.